Welcome back to Good Morning KU. We hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving break. Now that is the season of giving. Here at Good Morning KU, we'd like to fill you in on what happened in the sports and news world over the 5-day absence. Make sure you stay tuned for all that and more coming up on Good Morning KU. Volleyball's historic season is now on to the postseason. Kansas is the number 9 overall seed and will play Furman in the first round here in Lawrence on Thursday. At the watch party last night, I had the opportunity to talk with Cassie Waite, Anise Hayavili, Kelsey Payne, and Coach Bouchard. Here's what they had to say about their seeding.
Number 9 is awesome, kind of in the general area that we thought we would be in, and it's pretty cool that we get a host again. I love the opportunity to play in Horsch. It's, our fans, everything, it'll be super awesome. And then our opponents, Furman, again, don't know a lot about them right now, but we'll do our research. I'm sure they're an incredible team, as well as Missouri State, who've already played this year, and Mizzou. Any of those teams, the way it plays out, we got to play Furman first, prepare for them, play well, and then we'll see what happens after that.
I'm really excited to be in the tournament and have the season keep going. I'm pumped to play in Horsch in front of our fans, so that's basically what I'm happy to see.
Number 9 is awesome. I think we're really, really excited to see that. Being the top 10 for the first time ever in program history is awesome for us, and of course we're hosting in Horsch, so that's really cool too.
We're excited to be the number 9 seed. Brian, that's our highest seed, I think, right? I think we were 11 seed a couple years ago. We get a host. We've got a lot of really good teams coming to Lawrence, Kansas, and it should be a great week of volleyball.
Hosting here in Lawrence could set up a potential second-round matchup with Mizzou. Here's what the four had to say about that matchup, bringing back the old Big 12 rivalry.
Yeah, if that's the way it works out, that'll be awesome. But again, we're just lucky to have the opportunity to play at our home gym, and we're excited for the opportunities to come.
Bring back the border war and everything. I know the town would be really pumped if that were to happen. You never know, though. And I know a lot of the girls on the team are really excited if that were to happen. A lot of the girls around this area, so it should be fun.
I think it's huge. I'm from Texas, so I'm not real familiar with the rivalry, but a lot of my teammates are from Kansas, and so they're really connected to it. And so just to have the chance to play them, of course, after Furman would be awesome for us.
Yeah, that's a potential. We got to get figured out how we're going to get past Furman, and they're going to have to figure out how to get past Missouri State. And if that should happen, then there'll be some old Big 12 days. I know they've had an outstanding season. I thought they had an opportunity to actually be a host themselves. So they've had a great year, and we'll put all our attention into Furman first and see where that takes us.
Asking the girls what they wanted for Christmas, they all want a national championship. And as Jayhawk fans, we hope they can bring a national championship here to Lawrence. Coming from happy to sad here, and I'm sorry to be the bringer of bad news, this will be the last time we bring up Kansas football and losing in the same sentence, at least for this season. In the final game, the Jayhawks suit up in the season finale, and they would face off against in-state rival Kansas State, but would not come out victorious, losing 49-14. Saturday was the final game for seniors Fish Smithson and Trey Parmalee. Key factors on the team this season, Smithson led the NCAA in solo tackles, and Parmalee led the team in receptions. Kansas finished winless on the year, going 0-12, and will have a long offseason to figure out how to come out on top next season. Kansas women's basketball traveled down to Dallas, Texas to take part in the SMU Holiday Classic, the first of 2 games. In the first game, they would face Northern Illinois. Lauren Aldridge, the fearless leader of this Jayhawk team, doing what she always does with the drive. 2 for a career-high 17 points on the night, adding more to her night this time from downtown. The Jayhawks would take the lead off that 3, and the Jayhawks would never look back in this one. Getting the freshman to some action, Jade Christopher to Kylie Kopach for 3, and she hits it. 3 of her 10 points on the day. Jada Brown making her first career start after missing last season. With a knee injury putting her out for the entire season, she would have 6 points on her day. Not only did Lauren Aldridge have a career day, but Kaylee Mann-Allen had her first career double-double, 11 points on 10 rebounds, and tenacious block. In the championship game, Kansas would play the host SMU. Shayla Cheadle, who has struggled to start the year, finally started to get going in this one and it was leading scorer on the night with 12. She also did some dishing diming as well, giving it to Tamika O'Neal, who made her first career start and has been lights out from 3. Sheedle, again, this time she's driving the bus and putting it off the backboard, and that one will go through the net. Kansas loves to play at the top of the key and had flashy passing displays from Lauren Aldridge to Christopher, finishing off with a Kopadish 3. When she's on, you can't stop her. Asia Robertson, haven't heard her name yet, but she will steal the basketball here, drive it for her only points of the night. Freshmen have been outstanding so far this season. More Cheeto as she was all over the court in Dallas, making Moody Pavilion, home of the Mustangs, her own. She needs to play like this in Allen Fieldhouse. More driving by Aldridge, but that's what she does best, and she'll hit this one. She would have an off night, but she was still making herself known with her own usual displays of greatness. Kylie Kopadish finishing off her night with another 3, what she does best, and the Jayhawks would get the runner-up trophy by falling to the Mustangs, 73-64, for their second loss of the season. Next up on Wednesday night in Allen Fieldhouse, they'll take on a very good Creighton team. After the break, Kansas basketball beat writer Shane Jackson will join us to talk some Maui Invitational. Stay tuned.
Where you go to college makes a statement about you. This place will become a part of you, your identity for life. The University of Kansas, a great place to be you.
Welcome back into Good Morning KU alongside Shane Jackson. Shane, how was your break, man?
It was great. I did a lot of sleeping. How's yours?
Very restful as well. But let's go down to the beautiful island of Maui, talk some men's basketball. Now, going into Maui, did you think the Jayhawks had a chance to win it all?
Yeah. I mean, when you looked at the field, there wasn't a whole lot of really good competition. Obviously, Vanderbilt put up a good fight in the championship game, but that was really the toughest game that they had. I mean, they blew through their first 2 games. And honestly, I mean, when you looked at the field before, you think Kansas is one of the best teams in the country. You obviously thought they were the best team in that tournament, and they proved it. I mean, they played phenomenal through 3 games, and they were able to take home the trophy first time since 1996.
Now, who really impressed you through all 3 days of the tournament? Obviously, there was a lot of good performances.
Well, you have to say Wayne Selden. I mean, I don't know what it is about Wayne Selden. If it's something about if he flies over a body of ocean that he's just suddenly really good. Because you think about it in the summer games when he was really good, and then obviously in Maui he was phenomenal as well. In that championship game, he is the reason why they won it. He scored 25 points on 8 of 11 shooting. He took over, and Wayne Selden is a big part of that. I mean, he looked incredible through 3 games, and now he's leading the team in scoring with 17 points per contest. And if this is the version of Selden that the Jayhawk fans get, I mean, this is a team that's going to be tough to stop. Because when you talk about it with Perry Ellis and Frank Mason, and now you add in Wayne Selden, I mean, this is a big 3.
Now, coming back to Allen Fieldhouse, what are some of the keys for this team before they hit Kentucky in their Big 12 slate?
I think it's still their backcourt. I mean, obviously, Perry Ellis, you know what you're going to get out of him. He's your senior. He's really reliable. But if you look at the backcourt, especially with Wayne Selden and Frank Mason, and the Maui Invitational, those 2 averaged 32 points a game, 9 boards, 9 assists, and only committed 5 turnovers in 3 games. So if these 2 can still play at that rate, I mean, this is going to be a tough team to stop. I mean, when you talk about how talented that backcourt is, then you add in the front court and how deep it is, especially now that Diallo is back. I mean, it's so deep, and plus a talented backcourt. I mean, this is a tough team to stop, not only in the Big 12, but in the country. Let's
talk about Diallo. We finally heard in Maui. He'll be able to play this season. Take us through that process and what put the cherry on the top as far as how he became officially cleared.
Honestly, I mean, that was the biggest reward out of the whole Maui Invitational. I mean, obviously they win the whole thing, but Diallo being cleared is huge for this team. And there was a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff that nobody really explained a whole lot of why exactly it took so long. And, when we talked to Jay Williams and Seth Greenberg earlier a few weeks ago, they just said this is kind of a process that usually happens every year. And this, for some reason, with Diallo, it just took a bit longer than expected. But certainly for the Jayhawks, it's great because this is a big man that they get, and he's a talented big man at that. I mean, he's going to come in right away. He could challenge for a starting spot if he gives a few games to warm up. I think Diallo makes his team incredibly, not only a national championship contender, but maybe a national championship favorite.
Yeah, so we usually don't really see a lot of big men in Bill Self's lineup, but now that we will with Diallo, what kind of impact will he really have on this team?
Honestly, you've seen it in the past with the obviously and Joel Embiid. Bill Self teams are much better when there's a rim protector. I mean, Perry Ellis is great at the 4 spot. You got a great backcourt, but when you have that rim protector, it takes Self teams to the next level. And I think this makes that team to the next level. I mean, I always thought that the Jayhawks could compete for the national championship this year with Frank Melson and Perry Ellis really being your leaders. But now with Diallo in there, a rim protector, and how good this defense can be with how good this offense is. They average 93 points a game through 5 games. They're incredible right now. If their defense can pick it up, especially with Diallo protecting the rim, I mean, this team is going to be tough to stop for anybody.
And Jay Williams even said that with Diallo back, Kansas could win the national championship. But what is a game before the Big 12 season starts against Baylor on January 2nd that could give Kansas a close game? They play a lot of good teams: San Diego State, Harvard, Oregon State, down in Kansas City.
Yeah, honestly, there's a couple close games that I think they could play. I mean, San Diego State's really a good test. It's the last team that beat them in Allen Fieldhouse, and now you play on the road against San Diego State. So I think that's a really good test. Also, Oregon State in the Sprint Center, another good test for the Jayhawks. Anytime you get away from Allen Fieldhouse, it's a really good test, which is why I thought the Maui Invitational was so, there was a lot of optimism about it because, when they play that well away from Allen Fieldhouse, it's tremendous for them because that only bodes well for the NCAA tournament and during the Big 12 play. So I think those two really good tests. I'm really looking forward, though, to Loyola, tomorrow night with Diallo coming back. I know Loyola is not really a tough competition, but
we'll see Diallo for the first time.
Having Diallo play for the first time, I expect Allen Fieldhouse to be electric.
Well, Shane, thank you. Always great stuff from you when you come on. When we come back, we'll have the news. Stay locked into your dial. Awesome. Thanks, Shane.
Welcome back. I'm Maggie Brown.
And I'm Shelby Bettles. This is your Good Morning KU News Update. Climate change is the main topic for the world's top leaders this week in France. Security is high for the conference that is meeting just 2 weeks after a terrorist group killed 130 people in Paris. Today's meeting of leaders began with a moment of silence for the victims of Paris and also Lebanon, Iraq, Tunisia, and Mali. Already, 881 nations have pledged to fight carbon dioxide pollution, and a major discussion point will be how the richer countries will support the poorer countries in slowing global warming.
3 people were killed at a Planned Parenthood facility in Colorado Springs on Friday. 57-year-old Robert Louis Deere was arrested after a standoff with police, but authorities have not released a motive. A UCCS police officer and 2 civilians were killed, including a veteran of the war in Iraq.
In breaking news, a 4.5 magnitude earthquake rattled northern Oklahoma early this morning. Tremors were felt as far north as Wichita. A second earthquake struck just outside Oklahoma City just a few hours ago.
KU will be hiring a new director for the Office of Multicultural Affairs in the coming weeks, and the top 3 candidates will be presenting on campus this week. The first presentation will be this morning at 11 a.m. in the Kansas room of the Kansas Union. The remaining presentations will be at the same time and location on Tuesday and Friday of this week.
This year marks the 50th anniversary of A Charlie Brown Christmas. ABC will feature the classic cartoon this evening with an hour-long preview special hosted by Kristen Bell.
And in case you missed it late last night, the Denver Broncos rallied in the 4th quarter and went on to beat the New England Patriots in overtime. Down by 2 touchdowns in the 4th quarter, backup quarterback Brock Osweiler led the Broncos to 17 points. C.J. Anderson ran for the winning touchdown that knocked down the Patriots from the unbeaten ranks.
And that will wrap up today's news update. Please stay tuned. After the break, Tyler and Allie will have your weekly weather forecast.
Put down the remote, get up, and be active.
Welcome back in, Jayhawks. It is an early Monday morning because we are back from Thanksgiving break, but we'd also like to welcome in Allie Fullerton with our weather. Allie, how's it looking out there?
Good morning, Tyler. Well, we started off with a chilly morning, and if you look behind me, there's a sign saying terrace is closed due to ice. So over Thanksgiving, we had some freezing rain. It's not quite frozen out there yet, but I'm guessing later tonight with the rain we've been having, it will freeze again. So they've closed that off for safety. But right now it's 37 and it's going to get to about 40. So it's a chilly Monday morning. And so, you know what? I finally think that the winter has hit Kansas. So you might want to crank up those heaters and get some wood on the fire.
Well, I guess we're just going to have to accept at this point. We've been riding on a pretty nice break here. It hasn't been too cold. It hadn't gotten cold too quickly lately, but I guess we're just now getting into the swings. I guess we'll just have to take it as it comes. But how's the rest of the week looking and this weekend?
Well, tomorrow it's still meant to have scattered showers, and they're going to continue out tonight with a low of 28. And so it's going to warm up tomorrow to hopefully about 45. So we will have no snow at all just because it's not cold enough. But the rest of the week, we're still going to have showers probably throughout Wednesday too, but hopefully stopping on Thursday. And we're going to get up to those low 50s. So it will gradually get warmer throughout the week.
Well, sounds good, Allie. And if that sign behind her is not a good enough sign, you should probably know that it's probably a little chilly out to start right now. But Allie, thank you for coming on, and thanks for being on Good Morning KU. We appreciate your time as always. And thank you to all the viewers out there, and stay tuned. And we'll be back tomorrow for another episode of Good Morning KU. Thank you for watching.